How's it going, and welcome to Villains Voiced, a series where I go over your favorite villains that you love to hate. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the Frostmaiden herself, Auril, and how she can go ahead and impact the world. Of course, there's going to be a ton of spoilers, so players that plan on playing in this excellent module, do not watch this, but DMs that want added insight on how we can run Auril herself, go ahead and stick around because we have a lot to cover. And here she is in all three of her forms, which your players can see her in. We have her first form being an owl hybrid, her second form being a large and brittle battle goddess, and her third form being a small diamond-like structure. Between these three phases, your players are going to have one heck of a time dealing with her because she's pretty tough. She's got a large HP pool, she's got a ton of legendary resistances, she's got a ton of spells, but most important is never run any large, awesome, epic boss alone. Bosses just don't work in 5e. Always have some sort of minion by her side, whether these be Cold Light Walkers, Winter Wolves, Frost Druids, Frost Giant Skeletons. There's so many awesome threats that she could have by her side that her true power not only lies within herself, but all of the minions that she has at her disposal. Now, the real question for this whole campaign is, how often do your players interact with Auril? Well, it really comes down to your DMing style and how you want to present her as a villain. Is she going to be a villain that's all in your players' faces? Or is she going to be an ever-present figure that's just looming right there, not able to be attacked, not able to be got at, but just someone who is constantly harassing the world all around, influencing the 10 towns in all of Icewind Dale? I can't tell you which way is best, but I can say that if you have her more in your players' faces, then you do have to be prepared to not slip up. You should present her as the goddess that she is. She is arrogant, she is encapsulated with preserving beauty, and she shows no mercy or compassion. And that should truly shine when she interacts with mortal beings. She knows that she is far greater and far grander than any single mortals, so she's going to treat everyone like ants. So the first time your players see Auril, she can look at them all in her owly form and say, "Look at you all, growing weaker by the moment, aging and decaying day by day, succumbing to the dangers of this world. Let me preserve your beauty for ages to come." I think the best way to describe how you should have her interact is have her talk at the party, not to the party. She's not one to engage in some sort of discussion. She knows her place, and more importantly, she knows everyone else's place. Now, as I just mentioned, do we have her show up only at the end of the campaign? Do we have her show up at Auril's abode and the end of the campaign? How and where does she take place in your story? Well, that's entirely up to you. You can have her show up multiple times, you can only have her show up one time. Something I find that could be very interesting is maybe you spread out her 3 individual forms throughout this campaign. Her first form you interact with in the early stages of this campaign, her second form at the midway point, and then her third form at the grand finale. If your players are roaming around the frozen tundra that is Icewind Dale, perhaps they see this old crone figure, but when they draw closer, they can see her for what she truly is, an owl hybrid. And when she goes to talk, she says, "Do you not see the glory of this wintry land all about you? Perhaps its pristine glory is beyond your mortal comprehension." Perhaps when your players show up to the island of Solstice, they can see a ice sculpture figure, the Brittle Maiden herself in her second form, and she can say to the party, "Truly a most magnificent presentation of my beauty. Come now, embrace the ice, and let your earthly coil stand the test of time." When your players are plundering the lost city of Ythryn, perhaps they can see her third and final form, and it's there where she can announce to everyone, "I have given birth to this immaculate winter realm. It seems only fitting to be reborn within my own creation." Of course, this is more of a physical sense, your players interacting with her face to face. Maybe you don't want to have that happen. Maybe your players actually don't even interact with Auril face to face at all. Maybe she doesn't interact with the party directly. Perhaps she summons up some ice sculptures that resemble her and can talk for her. Perhaps she sends out agents that act in her own regards. And your players never get to interact with Auril, but they always keep on interacting with Methods and Giants and Winterwolves and Druids and so on. How directly or indirectly Auril interacts with the party is seriously going to influence how your players go about stopping this everlasting winter. Do they believe that she is a true threat? Or do they think that perhaps she is weak? They don't know. Maybe they get some snippets of information here and there, but it's going to take a lot of investigation to figure out the extent of her true powers. So let's say your players are regularly interacting with Auril, whether that be directly to her face, through her agents, or through some sort of construct that she can create right in front of the players. What do these things say? Well, perhaps out in the wild she could say, "Soon, very soon, the vision of magnificence you see before you will stretch further beyond the spine of the world. Do you see it now? A perfect world encapsulated in time." When your players step foot on Auril's abode, the island of Solstice, perhaps the message they receive here is, "You of course come to my abode to see if you are worthy of my gaze. My trials will weed out those who deserve but a fraction of my power, and those who are only deserving of being added to my garden." And if they don't know what that garden is, they might soon learn if they start exploring around the island. Once your players have opened up the Ragged Glacier and explored around the lost city of Ythryn for many hours, Auril will go ahead and announce her presence, spouting out, "Your transgressions offend me. You would unearth all that I seek to preserve. I shall return this city to its secrecy, and you all shall be buried alongside it." Now, whether your players are fighting the multiple phases over the course of this adventure, or it's just one big old brawl right there at the finish line, it is going to be an epic feeling. Your players have been dealing with the cold nonstop, and they've seen the bad things that it's doing. The people of 10 Towns are going crazy, they're dying, and lives are just absolutely miserable. So, hopefully, in the fight against her, they can try to put a stop to her advances. When your players finally get the chance to duke it out with her in combat, she is not going to show any sign of weakness. She's not going to show any sign of pain. She will go ahead and strike out against the party with all of her might, and she will not care about any damage that is done. She will demean the party through and through, and she will be saying such things as, "Mere mortals, standing against a god. What hope do they think they have? What do they believe that they can achieve? I shall tarnish your body now, but shall make you immaculate in death. Do you perceive the damage on this physical coil as pain? No. It is simply the emergence of something far greater. My garden of sculptures will grow from your contributions. Bow before me, and learn your place in this world that I shall carve out for you." She genuinely believes that what she is doing is the correct thing. She wants to freeze over this land because she believes that preserving beauty is the best thing that can happen. And she doesn't care about anything. She doesn't care about anyone. She knows that she's going to have followers, devotees that welcome the apocalypse, people that worship her out of fear, trying to avoid the worst. None of that matters. She will always have people bowing down before her, and that is where she's going to get all of her powers from, and she will gladly use it to expand her zone of influence. When Auril fights, she is not going to care. She is going to attack everyone, and she's going to try and kill. She has no remorse. If it would provide a tactical advantage to kill someone, she's going to kill someone. She's not gonna play games of slapping one person and another person evenly. No, she's gonna kill people. And like I said before, she's gonna have minions by her side. And these people are gonna be taking the hits for her, and they're gonna be killing anybody that she deems necessary to be killed. But of course, at the end of the day, your players are big damned heroes, and it is always possible for them to strike the finishing blow. After dealing with Auril's minions, and then Auril herself, in that final form, Winter's Womb, if they are able to cause that diamond to shatter out from the motes of light as she vanishes from this mortal plane, she will go ahead and announce, "I shall return. Relish now in this disgusting world which you have created. For when I arise, all shall be made resplendent again." And as her light flickers out, she is banished from this physical plane for a decent amount of time, up until the next winter solstice. But by then, the world will have been saved. Icewind Dale will have been not frozen over, and it will not invite devils from the hells to storm in. Auril is a big bad villainess. She is awesome. She's literally a goddess, and you should play her up as such. Of course, we know that she is a minor deity in the D&D realm, so it makes sense that she is weaker, but more so, there is a reason why she's weak enough to be slain by several adventurers. It is because she is expending a lot of her magic. She has a lot of devotees to her that she provides power to. But even bigger than that, every single day she flies across the night sky and prevents the sun from beating down. That's a tremendous deal. And that is the reason why she is not able to pull out all the stops. She will never admit this to anyone. She will never say this aloud. So your players aren't going to understand this until it is over. But perhaps that could be a fun little monologue at the end there, where you were able to beat her because she was expending her magic. Perhaps the next time she returns, she won't be expending her magic, and she'll return far more powerful. But what does she do when she returns? Well, that's a story for another day, and that is going to do it for this video. So go ahead and tell me, how do you plan on role-playing Auril? Is she going to interact with the party at all, or is she not going to show up until the finish line? Is she going to be acting through her agents, through her own will, through her own presence? And most important of all, how is she affecting Icewind Dale? I personally have it where the 10 towns are being saved from all the terrible blizzards because of the sacrifices that they make. If they do not make those sacrifices, then they are going to start getting hit by blizzards and more people are going to die. And that is why people are reverting to barbaric acts such as human sacrifice. Also, another thing to consider is it's not just the 10 towners that are dealing with this issue. There's other people in all of Icewind Dale that are dealing with this everlasting cold. All of the Ragged Nomads, all of the Goliaths, and all the denizens of the Sea of Moving Ice. What are they getting up to? How are they faring? Are they doing good, or are they slowly succumbing to the frigid nature of this place as well? And tell me if Auril plans to expand her operations outside of the land of Icewind Dale. Perhaps slowly over time it's going to get colder and colder in the south, and maybe as the cold trickles down the 10 trails, it finally meets up with the Sword Coast, and the minor and major settlements of the Sword Coast start getting affected by the frigid cold. Go ahead and tell me all these things because I want to know, but that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to all my amazing patrons up here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so very much. That is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one.